Welcome to the Daily Vibe Casting. Buckle up, folks. We are mainlining the X platform feed today, hitting the absolute hottest topics, pulling out the buzz. It's all about what's happening right now. No messing around. Let's dive in. All right, first one. Quite a jolt of intensity here from @Dearson. Just never roar.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot of R's. Gets the point across.
Definitely. And there's an image attached, like a flip chart note. It says, never be a prisoner of your past. It was just a lesson, not a life sentence.
That's powerful stuff. And you see variations of that sentiment around. We saw some mentions linking it maybe to Hindu or Urdu wisdom traditions.
Right. This idea of not being defined by yesterday, it really taps into that growth mindset, doesn't it? Like Carol Dweck's work.
Exactly. It's about agency, taking the lesson and moving forward. You see actionable advice linked to this too, like comments mentioning CBT principles, focusing on reframing thoughts.
Okay, next. @Burkov, he's got an AI PhD author, posts this real head scratcher.
Oh, yeah. What's he saying?
He goes, wow, it all suddenly has become clear to me. It's not that language models become capable of an intelligent conversation after they reach a certain size. It's human brain stops recognizing hallucinations and starts believing it's an intelligent conversation.
Whoa. Okay. That flips the script a bit.
Right. It makes you think, are we the ones changing our perception as the AI gets smoother? Are we just easier to convince?
Well, it's provocative, and, perception definitely plays a role. But on the flip side, these models are getting incredibly capable. Like, there were reports, I think, early 2025 saying models like GPT-4 were passing versions of the Turing test. Humans couldn't reliably tell them apart from other humans.
Huh. So it's probably a mix of both. Better AI, and maybe we're getting used to it.
Could be. It's definitely not as simple as just hallucinations. Though, yeah, people like Osama Fayyad have definitely warned about those too.
Okay, quick pivot, something practical. Elon Musk shared a post from @AOASIM,
What's the idea?
collecting water. Specifically, the condensate water from AC systems in big buildings like apartment blocks.
Interesting. AC drip.
Yeah. Apparently, you could get thousands of liters, and it's basically distilled water.
Right. Low in minerals.
Exactly. So they suggest using it for things like steam irons or maybe car windshield washer fluid. Pretty clever, using waste like that.
It is resourceful. Distilled water is great for those things because it doesn't leave mineral deposits.
Yeah.
But you'd have to be careful, right?
Careful how?
Well, that condensate water isn't sterile. It can sit in drip pans, collect dust, potentially grow bacteria. Like Legionella is a concern in water systems.
Ah, okay. Didn't think of that.
Yeah, and maybe VOCs, volatile organic compounds, depending on the air quality and system materials.
Yeah.
So yeah, filtration would be key. You couldn't just drink it straight from the pipe. Definitely not.
All right, switching gears hard now. Politics @Keir Starmer. Pretty strong post about border control.
Okay, what's the focus?
Talking about taking back control, reducing net migration figures, ending the use of hotels for asylum seekers.
Right, that's been a major focus area.
And specifically mentioning cracking down on people smuggling gangs. Smashing them, I think was the word used.
Yeah, that reflects the current political climate in the UK for sure. Immigration policy has been front and center, especially after the 2024 migration numbers came out, and with rising support for parties like Reform UK.
So this ties into recent government announcements.
Absolutely. The pledge about smashing gangs, that probably links to things like those joint raids we saw in Germany and France late last year. And the asylum hotels, the cost has been a huge talking point. The National Audit Office had that report right. Billions over 10 years.
15.3 billion, yeah. So very much hitting current political notes there. Okay, lighten it up a bit. @Tesla, they posted, we're a car company, right? Just that.
Yeah, with a question mark, I bet.
Exactly. And a link to a video of one of their robots dancing.
The Tesla bot, Optimus.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, but it totally signals where they're headed, doesn't it? Beyond just cars.
Absolutely. It's a playful way to underline their big push into robotics and AI. That Optimus project is a huge deal for them.
And it's not just Tesla, right? Other car companies are investing heavily in AI and robotics, too.
Definitely a broader industry trend. The lines are blurring.
Okay, back to some interesting logistics. @Pressec, Caroline Leavitt put out a clarification about Trump's plane.
Oh, there was buzz about that. What's the story?
Yeah, apparently the plane people were talking about a Boeing 747-8. It's actually from Qatar, and it's being donated, but to the U.S. Air Force.
Donated for Air Force One use. Temporarily.
Exactly. Apparently the new Air Force One planes are delayed Not expected until 2027 now.
So this is a stopgap. Interesting.
Yeah.
There must be some specific legal stuff around accepting a gift like that from another country for official use.
Yeah, they mentioned White House counsel DOJ probably involves the Foreign Gifts and Decorations Act, things like that.
Makes sense. And what happens to the plane afterwards?
Eventually, it's slated to go to Trump's presidential library and then the National Archives. So it'll become a historical artifact. Now check this out. At Podesta, going after a New York City icon, scaffolding.
Scaffolding, like the sidewalk sheds.
Yeah, calls it a $10 bureaucratic protection racket. Says it all started from a tragedy back in '79, a student death.
Wow. 10 billion. That's a lot for temporary structures.
Right. And Adam Missionite jumped in agreeing. Apparently there are like 9,000 of these sheds up right now, covering 400 miles of sidewalk.
Good grief. That's massive. And what's the racket part?
The argument is it's inefficient. Like sometimes the fines for not doing repairs are cheaper than actually fixing the building facade quickly. So sheds stay up for years. There was one example cited, 21 years.
21 years for one shed. Okay, yeah, that sounds broken.
And they contrast scaffolding-related deaths, which are rare, with deaths from falling masonry, which is what the sheds are meant to prevent.
So what's the proposed fix?
Ideas like using drones for inspections faster, maybe cheaper, shorter permits, higher fines for delays, basically trying to modernize it. Quick tech update. At TechCrunch reporting on Granola, it's an AI note-taking app.
Okay, what's the news?
Big funding round. Raised $43 million. Valuation's now $250 million.
Wow. For note-taking. AI must be doing some heavy lifting there.
Yeah, seems like it. They're also adding new features for teams, so you can share meeting transcripts, analyze them together, that sort of thing.
Collaboration features. Puts them up against tools like Notion AI, maybe Otter.
Exactly. And apparently they've been growing fast, like 10% user growth every week since they launched in 2024.
Clearly hitting a nerve. People want help managing all that meeting info.
Big business move now. At a leading report flagged this. Kraft Heinz.
The food giant, what are they up to?
Investing big time in the U.S., $3 billion into their manufacturing.
$3 billion. Okay, that's significant. What's the plan?
Upgrading about 30 plants, creating around 3,500 jobs, boosting production of stuff like, Heinz ketchup, Kraft mac and cheese, domestic production focus.
Sounds like it could be linked to those reshoring trends, maybe taking advantage of incentives, like that HR 6690 bill.
Could be. But it's interesting, you also see chatter online. People immediately brought up the health side.
Like what?
Specifically high fructose corn syrup in the ketchup, linking it to obesity, metabolic issues, citing older studies, so kind of a mixed reaction online. Let's look up space news from @SpaceX. Another Falcon 9 launch.
Starlink again?
Yep, 28 more satellites, launched from Florida, building out that constellation.
You're really cranking those out. Must be thousands up there now.
Over 7,200 by mid-2025, apparently. Wild. And someone at Robotech replied with this amazing long exposure photo of the launch trail. Just gorgeous.
Oh, cool. Those are always impressive. And the booster reuse continues, I assume.
Yeah. Likely B1085 again for this one. That reusability is key to launching so often. Keeps the costs down. Okay, for the AI developers listening. At Omar Sar highlighted a problem.
With LLMs, what's the issue?
They get lost, specifically in longer multi-turn conversations.
Context drift. Yeah, that's a known challenge.
Right, and there was a study referenced Microsoft Research and Salesforce, I think, found like a 39% drop in performance as the conversation goes on.
39%.
Right.
So that's substantial. Why does it happen?
Reasons like the model making assumptions too early or relying too much on recent turns, or this thing called loss in the middle where info from the beginning gets forgotten.
Yeah. Really underscores how important prompt engineering and just thorough testing are, especially for complex dialogues.
Sports fans. Something cool from YouTube.
Okay.
They're streaming an NFL game live for free.
Which game when?
Kansas City Chiefs versus the LA Chargers, September 5th, 2025. But get this, it's the game in São Paulo, Brazil.
Wow, the international game. And YouTube's got it. First time for them, right?
Yep. Their first ever live NFL broadcast. Huge step for them into live sports, and shows the NFL pushing that global reach.
Interesting that the Chargers didn't protect that game for local broadcast, but yeah, big move for YouTube.
All right, at Levy, Box CEO, always has interesting thoughts on work.
What's his take this time?
Talking about the next generation entering the workforce, how they've grown up with AI.
And how that changes things.
Yeah. He thinks they'll just inherently use AI to redefine efficiency, like how previous generations did with the PC, then the internet, new tools, new baseline.
Makes sense. It's not a foreign concept. It's just a tool they expect to use.
Exactly. So his advice to young professionals is basically master AI tools, get good at prompting, explore new domains, AI opens up.
But still need the human element, right? Judgment,
And
creativity.
for sure, he emphasizes that too. Those interpersonal skills, critical thinking, still essential. Quick one for the developers again. At Theo, he's poking fun at some older perspectives on code review. Specifically mentioning Uncle Bob Martin suggesting printing out code for review, physical printouts.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that feels dated compared to GitHub pull requests and all the digital tools we have now.
Right. But Theo does acknowledge the underlying point still holds. Bad review processes are inefficient, and things like pair programming can still be really beneficial.
True. The tools change, but the goal of catching issues early and sharing knowledge remains. And the trend now is definitely towards smaller, more frequent reviews anyway.
Okay, need a laugh. At Greg1667693542 posted something hilarious.
Let's hear it.
Joking about using the buy now pay later service.
Yeah.
For what? To finance a Costco hot dog.
No. The $1.50 combo.
Yes, like 4 installments of 37.5 cents or whatever. Just the pure absurdity of it.
That's brilliant. Perfectly captures how ubiquitous BNPL has become. But yeah, maybe it highlights the potential for overextending on very small purchases.
And the irony, of course, is Costco keeping that hot dog price famously low for decades. All right, at Vigilant Fox posted about RFK Jr. He was in Congress recently.
Yeah, there was a hearing. Sounded pretty heated. What's the angle here?
Defending his health policy views, facing criticism on things like fluoride, vaccines.
Right. Those are definitely points of contention for him.
The Post mentions him pushing back, citing things like the National Toxicology Program report from 2024 linking fluoride to lower IQ, arguing for topical use instead of ingestion.
And vaccines.
Apparently, his comments were maybe a bit more neutral this time, referencing how some European countries handle things differently, like skipping the chickenpox vaccine. So defending his stance against critics like Representative Mike Simpson, who's a dentist, quick hit, AI lab rankings. At Will Seesbeeb threw one out there.
Oh, yeah. Who's on top?
Says DeepMind is #1, then OpenAI, then Anthropic, then XAI. And he says there are, large separations between them.
DeepMind first. Interesting. Why them?
Cites their groundbreaking work like AlphaFold for protein folding.
Yeah, that was huge. But I bet the replies are full of debate, right? People arguing for OpenAI's LLMs or XAI's potential.
Oh, absolutely. Rankings like these always stir the pot. Okay, here's one. At CBDoge, just straight up declared Elon Musk a national treasure.
Hey, just like that. Was there a context?
Came with a picture of Musk at some formal event, maybe in the Middle East. Seems to capture that strong supporter sentiment you see online.
Yeah, he definitely has a dedicated following. People point to his companies, his recent moves.
Right, and his cultural impact, especially in those crypto and meme communities, the Doge father and all that. And finally, wrapping up with a bit of brand metaphor from AdX itself.
The platform, what do they post?
Referencing the news about HBO Max rebranding. Back to just HBO.
Oh yeah, that whole Max thing getting undone. Bit messy.
Totally. So X tweets, wait, is this rebrand about us? And jokingly offers to give the @Max handle back.
Huh. That's pretty funny. Self-aware.
Yeah, complete with the Sopranos gif and that Bugs Bunny no meme quote. Just clever social media play on their part. And breathe. That's your daily vibe casting for today.
Wow. That was a sprint.
Seriously, a super fast look at what's got people talking on X right now. From deep thoughts on AI perception in the past to practical tips, politics, tech funding, space launches.
Robot dances, hot dog financing, and brand name shuffles. Quite the mix.
It really is just a snapshot, isn't it? What's capturing attention, sparking debate today?
Makes you think how fast it all moves. Will be the main vibe tomorrow? What conversation will completely take over?
Exactly. Something to chew on. All right, that's us. Catch you next time for another Vibe Check.